Alright, so today I'm going to talk to you guys about my backpacking trip through Colorado that took place about 2 weeks ago. So this idea me and my roommate had probably about a year ago, and we knew nothing about backpacking. We grew up hiking, hunting, fishing, camping, all that stuff, but nowhere near what we wanted to do with this trip. So this trip we were planning for basically 6 months. We were trying to figure out where to go, what supplies we needed, and that sort of thing. So going into it, we decided we wanted to do Colorado because it's out west, it's beautiful country out there, and it's just something that really intrigued us. So we decided on a spot in Evergreen, Colorado, which is about 40 miles southwest of Denver. And we picked this spot because it was far enough away outside of a big city to where we'd feel like we were by ourselves and we were doing a real backpacking trip, but it was also close enough to Denver to where if something went wrong, we wouldn't be, oh geez, we're screwed, what are we gonna do now? So once we decided on the location, then began the prep work. We looked into all the gear we needed. Thankfully, since we were big outdoorsmen, we had most of the big things that we needed. We bought a couple frame packs and things like that. And the biggest thing that we were worried about was water. And usually when we'd go on our camping trips, we'd be able to bring our water with us because you throw it in the car, you're right next to the car. But with this trip, we were hiking into the mountains, so everything that we brought was gonna be on our backs and adding weight to it. So what we did was we ended up buying a few of those life straws, which worked out great, thankfully. And another big problem that we ran into was food, because we couldn't just bring deli meats and that sort of thing because we had no way to keep it cold during the day. So what we did was we started to dehydrate a lot of our food. And basically all that was that, for example, for ground beef, what I would do is I'd cook it up just like you were doing tacos one night, and then you'd throw it in the oven, cook it for about 5-6 hours at 200 degrees, and it would suck all the moisture out of it. And then when you're ready to eat it on your backpacking trip, you just throw it into some boiling water and it's just like new. It actually turned out really well. So then a little bit about the trip itself now. We began the trip on a Tuesday morning about 5:30 in the morning. And we wanted to drive straight through. So we didn't get in until about 11:30 or midnight in Colorado. And we decided to sleep in the car. We were gonna get up the next morning and just start hiking. So what we did was we slept in the car, got about as good a sleep as you can get in a car, and we woke up the next morning and we started our hike. It was a beautiful morning and it was super easy. It was all downhill going through the basin, so we figured, hey, how hard can this really be? And then after about 1.5 miles of going downhill, we realized, crap, now we gotta go uphill. And I don't know if you guys have walked in the Rocky Mountains before, but the elevation is unlike anything else. Your lungs feel like they're about to compress. I thought I was in fairly good shape, and the mountains told me that I wasn't in such good shape after all. But it was a great trip. We had a great time. We'd wake up early in the morning, get to a great spot where we could see the sunrise, and we basically just enjoyed the outdoors the entire time. Probably one of the coolest parts that we had in that trip was the snowstorm that we got. And we were a little worried about this because we didn't know how long it was gonna snow for, how much snow we were gonna get, and that sort of thing. But it was sunny and 65, and then all of a sudden, we look over to the other mountain and you see the snow rolling in up over the hills. And this was such a cool sight to see. And it came to us, and it started snowing on us for about 1.5 hours. The snowflakes were massive. It was a really cool experience. And after that, we decided, you know what, let's hike out of here. We don't know if it's gonna get worse. So we called our trip a day early, and we really enjoyed our time. And really the reason why I wanted to show you guys these pictures and tell you guys about this is because if you guys are into the outdoors and wanna do a trip, maybe not to this extreme to where you don't have your own food that you can just bring, your fresh food and all that stuff, try to get out there because there's a lot of beautiful terrain to see out there, and you don't have to just go all the way up to Colorado. There's plenty of places in Wisconsin to go outdoors and enjoy the outdoors and just be outside, relaxed, and having a good time with a couple of your close friends. Thank you.